Hey everybody, it's Eric J. Olson from Array Digital with another episode of the Journey to $100 million. Sometimes we have guests on the show. Many times it's just a solo episode of me or Kevin. Today we have a guest. So let's get right to it. Another entrepreneur named Andres. Hey buddy, how you doing?
Hey, good afternoon, Eric. How are you? Good.
Fantastic. Well, we met through the Entrepreneurs Organization. We're in the same geographic area. We're in the same chapter. Have we actually met in person? I know I've talked to you a couple of times online.
We shook hands when you came to do the cash day.
Ah, that's right. Yep. I was kind of spoke for a bit and I was out. So very brief meeting, but we're about to get to know each other a lot more because we're going to spend some time together in one of the EO Entrepreneurs Organization's programs. So, well, cool, man. Hey, I appreciate your time. Can you share with the audience a little bit about who you are and what you do?
Certainly. Thank you first and foremost, Eric, for having me today. I am Andres. I am 43 years old, married for 18 years now. I have a 17-year-old Andres, 15-year-old Kenneth, and a 12-year-old Kalea. They're the inspiration for my business name, AKK Painting. Their first initial is named after my business. I'm a Navy vet, and I was also a veteran of the Suffolk Fire Department. I was a firefighter medic as well. And I own a painting company that we're a veteran-owned, direct-to-consumer, commercial, residential, interior and exterior custom painting company, and we operate throughout the Hampton Roads area.
Excellent. All right. So for those that are listening that aren't familiar with that area, the Hampton Roads area, that's Norfolk, Virginia Beach, Virginia. Locally, we call it Hampton Roads. So that's very fitting because you focus on local clientele, obviously. Yes. So wow. So you're like a two-time servant, the Navy and with the fire station. So thank you for your service times two. Appreciate it.
Thank you. My pleasure.
So how did you go from that to painting? What's the evolution of that journey?
So this is really my second company. My first company failed miserably. I didn't know what I was doing. I was actually going to school to become a medic as well at that time. So all my focus really wasn't involved. I worked for a fellow named DJ Evans for 2 years at his company. And that's how I got started in business. He saw something in me when I came to one of the jobs and pretty much put like 30-something painters out of business, out of work, because I came in there and pretty much took over. And after dealing with the employees for so many years, he pretty much got tired of it and said, hey, construction is doing work for the government. When you take over the painting and you come bid solely for me. And that's how I got started in business. He was really like my first mentor, the guy that took me under his wing and talked business with me. And he saw that I was a good leader as far as getting work done. And he told me, hey, you need to do your own thing. So that's how I got started. Unfortunately, that was a partnership and it fell through once 2007, 2008 bubble burst. We had a lot of government contracts, but we went out of business because they put us out of the basis. So we were forced to get back to the commercial and residential areas and do painting from there. But at that point, I was already engaged with the fire department, and that kind of was the catalyst that just let that company go. Afterwards, once I was already in the fire department a couple of years, I started AKK Painting as a side gig, really, just to do extra money on the weekends or on days off from the fire department. Still didn't know much about business.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I was sick in 2016, which forced me to end my career early with the fire department, and I was left with this side business. Didn't know what to do with it. Had to feed my family, had to pay mortgage just like everybody else. And I started educating myself, listening to podcasts, empowerment videos or podcasts, anything to do with education as far as business, entrepreneurship. And I ran into a lady who brought me into an organization called BNI, which is networking. And I realized then that I had a gift for networking. So I became a professional networking. That was in 2017, only doing a revenue the year before 80,000. And I was able to double the business in size the next year. And we're right now on track to do 800,000 this year.
That's great, man. So how many years has it been since you kind of went full time with this?
Since 2017, so 6 years now.
Good for you. That's incredible. That's really impressive. So what's interesting is this really wasn't your plan, right? Your plan. Yeah. So you said before, like you were working for the fire department, you got sick or injured and then like you couldn't continue there, but you had the side business, which is completely like for me, it was different. I had a side business, but then I decided to focus in on that. And I had a similar government contracting experience as you, which is this sounds like all of your eggs were in the government basket. And then that kind of just didn't work out. And you didn't really have anything. You weren't created, positioned at all for commercial work. Is that a pretty good summary?
Pretty much. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Didn't know what to do. So I was already going to school. I was volunteering in Virginia Beach as a EMT. So I was educating myself to become a medic because that's really what I wanted to do. I always wanted to have a business. I always been an entrepreneur. I used to buy and sell cars. Anything I make money off, I knew eventually I would start a business. I just didn't know that the painting was going to be the one that I just commit to full time, and it's paying off. I like it.
Yeah. Yeah. How long into that transition from when you were, part-time side business to full-time, how long into that until you were like, all right, you know what? This is the thing now that I'm going to focus on?
Well, almost immediately, really, because a business is really just marketing and innovation, right? And networking falls within that realm of marketing. And I noticed that the more I did work for people that I knew, my network just grew even more, especially if I committed to those principles that I always instill in myself and my guys. Is we always show up, we get it done right the first time, and the customer never pays till they're happy. And it was just a snowball effect from there. People just heard from other different groups. Then I joined the Chamber of Commerce and joined other organizations, ran into EO. I'm able to work with somebody in EO now for a new idea that we have coming up for my business, a side division, if you will, of Christmas installation lights and holiday lights. So we're moving forward. Every time I network and I grow my network even more, I get to meet people that are even at a different level, and I get to pick and choose what I want to install into my business and help me grow. And I'm just blessed the fact that I've been able to meet so many people since I started going and really full time since 2017. I'm amazed of how fast we've grown. And obviously it's not as fast as, your regular companies, IT companies that grow tremendously fast, but it's difficult to grow fast in an industry where you're servicing and you're depending on labor force. I'm proud of how far we gotten, and we're not done yet. So
there you go. Cool. So you're getting ready to expand from your niche of painting into like Christmas tree hanging, and I guess taking down too.
Yep.
Does that kind of align strategically with like your slow periods of time for painting?
Yes. Obviously, in the wintertime, we can't really paint exteriors, but we have all this equipment, vans and ladders, and all the guys willing to work. So it's always been a struggle for any painting company, really, to keep their guys busy, especially for the kind of work we do, because we don't work for contractors per se, like most painting companies. We're strictly direct to the customer. Everything we do is repaint. So it's a harder business model because we're not depending on somebody always giving us work. Like, for instance, a contractor that has 10 houses lined up. Now you're sure you have 10 houses worth of work, but for us it's a little harder. So they're dependent mainly on myself and the guys that I have in place for networking to generate these referrals. So not many people want to go that route. Somebody wants to always work for somebody, but I believe in this model really strongly, and it's the model that I'm most passionate about, and the one that has actually given my freedom back to run the business the way I want to, and not the way other people want me to. So
there you go. That's awesome. So the thing about the hanging of the lights, I find that very interesting because even if you were just paying people by like the hour, by the day, or whatever, you don't want to cut them for too long because then you could lose them, right? They could go off and do something else, and then it's difficult to like assemble your people back. And if you have them full time, you clearly want to like put them into a productive situation. So I think it's a really smart idea to take your workforce, to take your existing equipment, vans, ladders, all that, and repurpose it for something else. So congratulations on that. And this is going to be the first year you do that?
Yeah, we're actually already installing some lights. We've done my house. So we've done some training with one of the EO members, Troy. He's trained us. Actually, two of my guys are there now doing some lights for him. So yeah, it's nice. Working out already. We're putting the word out to all our previous customers that spend money with us, and we're offering this as a package this year. And not just because we have the tools and I want to make money. At the end of the day, it's really about everybody, and it's as important as myself making money or the company making money. I want to keep them because they have families too.
Yeah,
I want to keep them employed so they could provide for their families, and thus create a company that cares about everybody, not just, hey, you're only here for the season. I don't have anything for you. You know,
that's right.
You don't. That's right. You can't create some kind of trust that way. If I'm out there hustling and make sure these guys have dinner or enough money for the holidays, then they're going to take that into consideration and stay with me for years if they want.
Yeah, great point. So if you were starting your entrepreneurial journey all over again, maybe even all the way back to like the first business, what would you do different?
Well, it's really hard sometimes, that question, because everything you do in life really leads you to the moment you're at right now. And right now, I wouldn't change anything in my life. I mean, I'm happy my business is going well. I haven't completely taken myself off the business yet, so I can't really call it a business. I'm still doing most of the sales, but we're getting there as far as production. I'm not in the field. I don't answer the phone anymore. So if I could do things over, it's just education, listen to the podcast. I'm not a big reader, but I listen well and I watch well, and I videos and YouTube, anything to do with business, how to grow a business, just educate yourself. Most people like myself, I barely made it out of high school, and I can't believe that I am running a business almost making $1 million a year. So there's all the ways to learn, but a lot of the times we're not given that opportunity to know there is something else that you could do to make yourself better or grow. So definitely education, any kind of way.
I could not agree more. Well said too. Education is the key that unlocks potential. So fantastic. Well, welcome to EO. I know you've been in for a little while, and we're about to get together on a more regular basis. I'm looking forward to that. What is a good way for someone to get in touch with you?
So if they want our services, they can visit our website at www.akkpaintingllc.com. And they could also call the office number at 757-309-6444.
There you go. All right, buddy. Appreciate having you on the show.